Benji the Hunted is a Disney film from 1987. This is written and directed by Joe Camp, and it's actually the first, to my knowledge, the first Disney Benji film. There are a couple before this, not produced by Disney, and I haven't seen any of them, so I did worry that I might not be able to follow this, but honestly, I don't need to have seen the others. Will I watch the others? Maybe eventually. I'm not in a hurry to do so. As a story, this is pretty boring, but visually, it is absolutely stunning. This could have been told in half the time. It absolutely did not need to be almost an hour and a half. There's a lot of the same kind of thing happening again and again. And as a story, it's just not great. It barely moves forward at any point. It is emotional, though. And the actual animals in this are so stunning. Benji is a dog, and he's actually played by a dog called Benjean in this particular film, which is absolutely adorable. The dog is so gorgeous. And at the start of the film, he goes missing. And the film is all about his survival in the wild. And there are a couple of humans in this, not many. Mostly it's just Benji and the animals that he encounters. And they're absolutely stunning. Honestly, the story is basically what I've said. It's about him surviving in the wilderness, and it goes around in circles a lot. It barely moves forward. Occasionally it will. We do have a kind of maybe 3 or 4 key plot points at the most, but mostly it's just Benji running around and looking after some cougar cubs, because he finds these cougar cubs and they are so gorgeous. I absolutely love them. I'm a big cat fan. So they were so precious, and it's really nice to see Benji interacting with them. They are absolutely adorable. And that's pretty much the bulk of it. Benji looking after these cubs. There is a little bit more to it. There are a few more threats and dangers and things to try and make it action-packed. But honestly, they could have told this story in half an hour. It does kind of feel like one of Disney's classic nature documentaries. They had some really gorgeous nature documentaries in around about the 60s, and it basically feels like that. It has the same level of narrative as they did. So if you're looking for a film with a really fascinating story, Benji the Hunted isn't going to be it. But if you're looking for a film with some beautiful shots of some gorgeous animals and some really beautiful scenery and landscapes, it might be a good one to go with. This is filmed in Table Mountain in Washington. It's also filmed in Oregon and also somewhere called Young River Falls in Oregon. So the scenery, absolutely stunning. The animals are absolutely gorgeous. We do have some other animals. I don't want to give away too much more about the animals that are in this, because I've already basically explained the bulk of this film, and Benji is so beautiful. There is, of course, the suspense, maybe suspense is too strong a word, but the curiosity of whether he will actually be found or if he'll be destined to live a life in the wilderness, which would be pretty tragic for a domestic animal. I won't say what happens, but it's kind of like we have the beginning, and then we have the end, and I won't say how it ends, and then we have a lot of repetition in the middle, and it's basically just the same thing over and over again, occasionally with something else brought in. So as a narrative, it's not good. It's not very good at all. But if you like films about dogs, and you like nature documentaries, and you like that kind of footage, then absolutely it's worth watching. It didn't need to be this long, doesn't really have a good narrative structure, but the animals are beautiful. And it also gets quite emotional at times as well, because, well, animal films are generally just emotional. So it's not great. It really isn't. But the animals are well filmed, and we have some really beautiful shots of the cougar cubs. They're absolutely gorgeous. If you like nature documentaries, you might like Benji the Hunted. If you're just looking for a decent narrative, this isn't going to be one. I'm not in a rush to check out the other Benji films, but I might do at some point.